Sophina Throw is a large throw which measures approximately 56 times 60 inches. It's a basic stitch pattern, so even Tunisian crochet beginners can master and make this. For this project I use Hobby Umami yarn, which is a number 6 or super bulky yarn, and I took it to another level, so I doubled up the strands and I used a large 15mm crochet hook from my Denise collection, so this would be size 19 in US terms. You will also need a cable, approximately 100 centimeters or 40 inches, and of course you will need tapestry needle and scissors. So for this tutorial I'm going to only be using single strand of the yarn, but don't forget, for the pattern, if you want to follow it exactly, you will need to double up, so you will need to work with 2 strands at the same time. So I've got the actual Sophina Throw here. So as you can see, in comparison to my hand, the stitches are really large. When we look at the gauge, it's only 6 stitches and 4.5 rows per 4 times 4 inch swatch. So you can see that doubling up the yarn makes it really bulky and it weighs quite a bit, so it's ideal as a weighted blanket if you needed extra. As I mentioned, this stitch pattern is ideal for beginners if you just like to dip your toes in the world of Tunisian crochet. So it consists of 2 stitches that are alternated within a row and between rows. This will be the Tunisian simple and Tunisian purl stitches, and using them in this sequence or working them in this sequence makes a beautiful honeycomb texture, and in fact the stitch is called the honeycomb stitch. So we need to start with a slip knot and insert the hook inside, tighten it up. We then progress with chains to create the foundation chain. So if you like to start your project in a different way, you're more than welcome to do it. Some crocheters prefer to start with the foundation cord. So I like to start, for my Tunisian crochet project, I like to start with a chain. So we are going to yarn over the hook and pull through. And for this, for the throw, you will need to chain 84. So if in case you would like to amend your pattern, you will need to add multiples of 2. So we are going to chain a small number of stitches. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this will do to create maybe 2 more, just round it to 10. Okay. So we are going to have a small swatch. What I like to do then, I like to work the foundation row into the back bumps of your chain stitches. So I'm not sure you can really clearly see it on the yarn. This is the strand of yarn that we are going to be working into. So we are going to go under the strand from front to back, yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, and we will repeat this into every chain across. Like so. Right, so after you work your foundation row, the forward pass of your foundation row, you should have the same number of loops on your hook as you had chains. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, so we didn't miss any of the back bumps. Now we're going to go ahead and work the standard return pass. So standard return pass in Tunisian crochet is worked as yarn over and pull through. This is also known as chain 1, and then we will work yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across, which brings us to the beginning of row number 2. Like so. So for row number 2, we will start with Tunisian simple stitch into the first stitch. So we work Tunisian simple stitch by inserting the hook from right to left under the front vertical bar. We yarn over and pull up a loop. Now the next stitch will be Tunisian purl stitch. So for the purl stitch we need to bring the yarn forward, so it's going to be the front of the hook. Insert the hook from right to left under the front vertical bar. We then yarn over and pull up a loop, and this creates a bump at the front, a little bit of a texture there. Okay, so we continue with Tunisian simple, Tunisian purl stitch, Tunisian simple, Tunisian purl, Tunisian simple, Tunisian purl. Now we are on the very last stitch of the row, so we are going to work the end stitch. This is going to be slightly different to the other stitches. So we will, while the other stitches we only worked under 1 bar, the end stitch will be worked under 2. So if you turn the end of the project towards yourself, you will see that there are 2 strands of yarn. One is on the right and one is on the left. So you will be inserting your hook under both of these, yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, so this was the forward pass for row number 2. We then continue with standard return pass. For row number 3, we will work Tunisian simple and purl stitches. We will alternate them in comparison to the row below. So while row number 2, we started with Tunisian simple stitch, now we are going to work Tunisian purl stitch into it. So we work purl stitches into simple stitches and simple stitches into purl stitches. So the next one in the row below is purl, so we will work Tunisian simple stitch into that, then Tunisian purl stitch and Tunisian simple, purl, simple. So while the last stitch that we worked before the end stitch was Tunisian purl stitch in the row number 2, now we are going to end with Tunisian simple stitch and then end stitch. So this is a forward pass for row number 3. We will work standard return pass. Okay, and that's it as far as the row repeat go. So you will then repeat rows number 2 and 3 for the length of your project. I'm going to work a few more rows and I'll meet you back to show you how to bind off your project. So we are back for the bind off. I worked 2 more rows. So for the bind off we are going to work Tunisian simple stitch bind off. What that means that we are going to work Tunisian simple stitch into the next stitch and then pull through the loop which is already on the hook. And we are going to repeat this for every stitch of the row. This is a nice way to bind off your project that will make the top edge similar to the bottom edge, because as we are working the stitches in this way, the tops is starting to look as if there were chains sitting on the top, creating a top border. Okay, so we are going to work end stitch as well. Then you can, once you finish your project, you cut the yarn, pull it through, and that's it. That will be your Sophina Throw done. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this super easy and super quick throw pattern. I can't wait to see what yarn you're going to use for yours. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.